The 1-year-old will eat the apple and play with the rabbit. You take a rabbit and an apple and you put it in a cage with a baby tiger, and he'll eat the rabbit and play with the apple. Instinct. Instinct. So anyway, allowing a human to eat, it will never eat beyond what it needs to eat. Because when you're eating real food, tomatoes, not tomato sauce, it's satisfying, it's nutrient dense. Now, by the way, in my office in Arizona, I have a potato clock. And a potato clock is you have a clock and there's 2 wires that come out of it, and you plug it into the potato and the clock works. Why does the clock work? Because the potato is alive, it has a bioelectric charge. Do you think the clock would work if I baked the potatoes? Because it now becomes a potato corpse. See, we love corpses. Potato corpse, animal corpse, as long as it's dead, we'll eat it. So we eat to satisfy our tongue. I call that gustatory. Gustatory refers to the sensation of taste. I call that gustatory masturbation. Can you think of a better word for it? The reason I like to use these words is that the only way I'm going to penetrate your mind is by shock or humor. If you laugh, you'll hear it. If you get shocked, you'll hear it. So you remember, next time you go to a restaurant, are you going to nourish yourself or are you going to masturbate in public? I think right next to the toilet we should have other rooms for people to eat. You should do it privately. Anyway. By the way, how long would you last if you took your clothes off and you went into the jungle? An hour? Before you cried? We don't know how to live anymore. We don't know how to survive. We are no longer earthlings. We are hybrid mutants. We only know how to get around in this absurd, artificial thing. We're running after appointments. We're stressed out if our nail breaks, if our hair is not right. Anyway, so detoxification is the first thing that needs to happen, because it's the accumulation of toxins that results in the requirement of the body to engage in homeostatic corrective measures. How do you detox? You don't. Your body is always detoxing. It's always cellular cleaning out. Cells are cleaning out. All you got to do is stop retoxing. We're always retoxing from the morning to the moment we wake up. Some people eat just before they go to bed. So detox is not something you do, it's something that happens when you're not toxifying, retoxing. That's why I have a thing in my clinic, the best thing to do about anything is nothing. So, fasting, cleansing, that's what it means. You clean out the body and it will hum. People come to our clinic, not only do they have cancer, but they had radiation and chemo and their body's full of, and they come, they come in on gurneys. They come in really sick. Within 2 weeks, they're dancing around. I had a lady, 3 weeks to live. She had breast cancer, stage 4, metastatic all over her body. 3 weeks to live. She came in and she was laying on the gurney. And I walked up to her and she grabbed my arm and she said, "Thank God, now I know I'm going to make it." What was that an expression of? That was an expression of faith. Now, what is faith? Faith is not a belief. You You can only believe in something if it's not true. You can believe in Santa Claus. You can believe in tooth fairy. You can believe in Obama. But you don't believe in trees. You either know about trees or you don't know about trees. It's not a belief. So if something's real, you know it or you don't. If something's not real, you believe it. So do I believe in God? No way. I know about God. Okay, so faith is when you know something's going to happen that hasn't happened yet. Not believe. No. Example. You go home and you're peeling an apple, which you shouldn't do. Eat the skin. But let's say you're peeling an apple and you cut your finger. Do you believe it's going to heal or do you know it's going to heal? You know it's going to heal. And guess what? It heals. You just wash it off, put a Band-Aid on it, you're done. It's that level of knowing that you have to have with your body. Now, why don't we know we're going to heal? Because the Cancer Society, our culture has spent trillions of dollars on a public relations campaign that scares the sense out of you if you hear the word cancer. There's a lot of money behind that word. You hear the word cancer and you say, cut it off, cut it out, do anything. I see that condition, which I call surrender, and I love it. Acceptance, surrender. I see that, and I see that as an opportunity to teach you how to live. Those warlocks and witches in the hospitals with the white coats see it as an opportunity to rip out your body, to poison you, to make money. How come? When they anonymously surveyed oncologists in Canada, 85% said they would not do the therapies they recommend to their patients. So you know what I call them? I call them mercenaries. And they bring their spouses to me. And it's hush-hush. So they're not just ignorant. Okay? That's why I have no mercy anymore. Believe me, they don't have any mercy on me. They don't like me. They've tried to take my license many times. They'll probably succeed someday. But you don't need a license to talk the truth. You know what a license is? A license is when you're given permission, you're given the authority to do something that would otherwise be illegal.
Right.
Joke. Anyway, so I want to give you one last thing, and then I want to give you a test. Remind me to give you this test. Okay. One last thing was, I had a man, he was a nurse actually, and his wife had ovarian cancer, and it had spread to her brain, and she was very, very sick. And he came to me after 6 weeks. She was doing great. He came to me after 6 weeks, and he said, you know, when I first came, I had angina, heart pain. I was taking nitroglycerin 3 or 4 times a day. I had high blood pressure. I was taking medication. I had diabetes. I had to give myself insulin. But I wanted to support my wife, Iris. So I gave her, I did the juice fast with her. And I've been eating the food. And I got some colonics. No chest pain. Blood pressure is normal. And I'm not a diabetic anymore. I told him that we call that secondhand health. It's better than secondhand smoke. Secondhand health at our center. You get it? So, now, if indeed high blood pressure, diabetes, and angina were 3 separate and distinct diseases, as the witches and the warlocks in the hospitals would have you believe, then one thing could not cure them, because the whole idea of having separate diseases with separate etiologies requires separate cures, and only the brilliant doctor can know that. One thing got rid of them all, because they were all manifestations of accumulated toxins. Now, we have 100 trillion cells in our body. Every 6 weeks, we have new skin. Every 48 hours, we have new rods and cones in our retinas. Every 3 days, we have new linings to our GI tract. Every 6 months, we have a new liver. Basically, every year, we have almost a new body. So if you had a condition last year, and you have that condition this year, it's because you're continuing to produce it. Oh, okay, the test, the last test. Somebody comes up to you, and they have a thoroughbred racing farm. And they bring up and they have two colts, 2 6-month-old colts that are thoroughbreds. They're all their parents, grandparents. They come up to you and they say, I'm going to give you a 6-month-old colt, and I'm going to give your neighbor a 6-month-old colt. And in 9 months from today, you're going to have a race. And whoever's colt wins will get $10 million cash, tax-free. You have 9 months. Let me ask you a question. Are you going to feed that colt, that horse, hay soup? Or are you going to give it fresh grass?